That was a noise. Are you talking?
That's noise.
No, I'm not.
We're hearing demons from the abyss.
That is what we are hearing, yeah.
You're hearing the sound of the phone sliding because I have to have it plugged in and the cord keeps trying to move it.
Daisy is speaking in tongues. Kyranos has possessed her.
That is ridiculous. Daisy is the strongest woman in the world and can be possessed by no such shenanigans.
Okay, so I'm also going to be doing a new thing because I, as a DM, am very bad at giving away DM inspiration. I'm going to allow one person to do the recap for last session for the viewers at home, and then whoever does that gets DM inspiration. Who
you want me
wants
to do a simple recap?
Wait, you weren't even... Oh, it would be hilarious if you did the recap because you weren't here.
Last time things happened, I wasn't there. Anyways, here's what I'm doing.
I will say I will rescind the offer of DM inspiration if you do a poor job.
Last time on Dragon Ball Z, you see, kids, what had happened was, with no further ado, we had a session where Ben, whose character is Trinity, was absent.
Hold on. We gotta do introductions first.
Fine. I'm also first in introductions. Hello, I'm Brandon. I am playing both Daisy Highwind McClintock and
first,
Meek,
this is the
no
DM.
last name.
I gotta introduce the campaign.
Yeah, the DM first.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Some Random D&D Game. This campaign is The Fall of Man. I am your host, Chris, and next is Daisy.
Excellent work. Hi, I'm Daisy. No, not really. I'm a human man, Brandon, who is portraying a half-elf Oath of Treachery paladin known as Daisy, and very classified, mysterious individual known as Meek.
Then it's Ben.
Next up is Ben.
Hello, I am Ben. I play my character's name is Trinity. She is a wildling. So I was basically described it. Chris basically described her back to me originally as basically a superhuman or human. Yeah, she was described as a Amazonian-esque warrior. I was not here last recorded session, so as a result, Trinity is off doing her own thing outside of the ball.
All right. Next up is Destin.
I'm Destin. I play Alexander, who is a human fighter.
And lastly, but not least, we have TJ.
Don't lie, I'm definitely least. Hello, I am TJ. I am playing Eden Fell, the ASMR cleric of the Grave subclass, and I am here to play a game with all of my friends. Yay!
All right, and to summarize last session, Brandon, take it away.
All right. Fundamentally, to summarize the last session, the main party, absent of Trinity due to player reasons, Trinity was diegetically left behind. The session will advance what she was doing in the meantime and up to the present. There was a ball being held by the High Marshal of the city, in Lady Von Gut, who is gathering a number of foreign dignitaries to the city of Novrod, which is imploding for her own means. All of our characters, Alexander, Edenfell, Meek, and Daisy, have also wormed their way into this event, hoping to forestall the coming apocalypse. Alexander arrived the earliest, with Edenfell's twin sister Ramona, and managed to interact with a few individuals before, unexpectedly, Edenfell and Ramona's brother appeared. His name, Wilhelm, I believe, or yes. I think he might pronounce the W as a V because he's very German, or French, I don't know, Europe. And then additionally, Daisy Highwind McClintock, formerly known as Daisy Highwind appeared with her new husband, King Ivar McClintock Highwind, causing a bit of a rift and a shuffle. Prior to that, some fool named Neek snuck in with a panther, sweet-talked his way past the front door, and has mostly been making a nuisance of himself, interacting with mysterious figures from the east, and inquiring as to the conservation status of obscure northern fish.
All right, get yourself some inspiration.
Woo.
Why do we let the enemy have that?
Hey, Brandon, you get to choose if Neek or Daisy gets that inspiration.
That's correct. Brandon has the inspiration. I'll use it where I think it is necessary.
Yeah, you do not have to pick right now. You can just be like, hey, I want to use this inspiration on Neek. Just whenever. So, picking up where we left off. Now announcing High Marshal of the Knightly Order of Novrod, Tarnith Koenig Vorin von Gut. And entering in is a half-elven woman of medium build and height in translucent armor. Has a sword, almost ghostly translucent sword at her side. Has various wounds, and underneath the armor is military attire. She enters in with more grace than you'd expect with what looks like full plate armor.
Oh, great. This bitch is here.
Does this throw a bit of a wrench in your plans, Daisy?
Well, naturally, it's her party, so, we expected her to be here. I'll have to counteract whatever she's going for, but I believe we're going to let her make the first move.
Sounds like a plan.
No.
She makes her way into the main dancing area, just crosses straight across to it, and is making her way over to Erin Oberon.
Mm-hmm.
As she is going, she is nodding pleasantly, making niceties and saying hello as she passes people, but it's a pretty obvious straight line. Some of you may note that she has a yellow ribbon tied around her arm, signifying that she is open to dueling.
Oh boy. Neek definitely needs to maneuver himself somewhere where he can listen in on that. That seems like an interesting place to be. Unless Soren feel he decides to get fed up with it and go to the stables, maybe. He's got stuff on.
Make a charisma-based stealth check.
Oh man, he has neither of those in big numbers. Yep, that's a whopping 18. Due to the lovely fortune of rolling 17 on the die.
All right. Neek will be making his way over there. Does anybody else want to be doing anything?
Well, Daisy, this has been a lovely time dancing with you. I think I'll let you get back to whatever sort of plans you're conniving here, and I'm going to go check and see how Alexander's dealing with your would-be husband.
Yes. I do need to speak to him at some point. Pretty important, given I got a good look at him. But, I can start making niceties. I can start, gotta implicate myself as the strongest woman in the world, which, in fact, I am.
All right, so Edenfell, where are you going?
Edenfell is going to go to where Alexander is to try to intervene before maybe this gets too out of hands.
And Daisy, where are you going?
Daisy's going to talk with the Varl.
Which one?
The local one.
So Draskin. All right.
Yeah.
And Alexander and Edenfell. Alexander, you were having a discussion with McClintock.
Yeah. He had just told me the reason he had actually married Daisy right before this person, the Von Guts, got announced. Yeah.
Aye.
That's a good plan, actually. Some of the anger seems to come out of Alexander towards the McClintock. You can still tell he's a little upset.
The McClintock reaches out a hand and places it on Alexander's shoulder. You're a good man, Alexander. It's a shame you're not on my side. He pats your shoulder and then walks off.
It looks for a second like Alexander is going to. He starts to reach out a hand to grab him to say something else, but then just drops his hand and lets him walk off.
Edenfell, you are with Alexander again.
Did you calm down a bit?
Yes.
Would you like to go sit back down with everybody else and think about all of this? Think about what we're gonna do next.
What is Lady Von Guts doing right now?
Lady Von Gut is currently speaking with Henry Oberon.
Looking up and noticing that she's in the middle of a conversation. Yeah, let's head back for a little while. But I do need to speak to her.
Yes, that's it. Be wise. But I just think we should go back and try to talk to Ramona and William. I think they might know better about what to do about this.
So Alexander and Edenfell are going to go and try find Ramona.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Team meeting.
All right, next up, Neek. You are listening in on the conversation between Henry and Lady Von Gutt.
Yeah, I mean, if I can't, I could maybe have, like, the Panther, go and listen. Maybe listen, get a little bit hint from him. Multitask. I got some good wisdom. I'm not trained in perception, but I purposely grabbed a bunch of weird skills for Neek and a couple not weird ones. Yeah. So, what kind of dirt?
So, make a perception check at advantage because you managed to get pretty close to hear this conversation.
All right. Roll number 1's a dirty 20. Roll number 2. Let's see if I can fish anything better. Is a 9. So I think we're going with the 20 here.
I think so.
That passes medium to like kind of hard DC.
Lady Von Gutt. Sir Oberon, I trust you have your speech prepared. You are the one opening, after all. I have prepared. And what do you think of my suggestions? I think they are sound. I don't know that I'll send all my men with you, but a portion probably. Excellent. Fantastic to hear. The Knights of Novigrad, thank you. She does a quick bow and then moves on.
Maybe I need to work my way in there. I'm nobody, so she would probably use me as a shield against people she actually wants to avoid talking to.
Make a just flat charisma check to see if you can get into a conversation with her.
You'll hear my beaming smiles enough. Come on, Nick. Come on, boy. A whopping 3.
So you plan to be basically a shield against having conversation with anyone else. But that kind of happens to you. Somebody else starts talking to her, and she just fully doesn't even acknowledge you and just walks past.
Oh man. Jackson gonna like that.
As you watch her, she seems to be heading in the direction of the king himself. And the king just does not. He completely avoids. She doesn't give chase for long, and instead turns her attention to Daisy.
Daisy has no intention for subtlety. She's gonna direct approach, like, oh, you're approaching me. And Daisy's like, yes, I can't talk to you.
Daisy is now approaching Tarnith.
Oh, hello, dear. How are you doing today?
I'm doing quite well, thank you for asking. How is your evening, Daisy?
Oh, quite terrible.
Oh, that's quite unfortunate. This is supposed to be a good night.
Oh, I've never been great at self-deception. I don't believe we've really met before.
Unfortunately, we have actually.
Hmm?
Oh, it was a duel long ago.
Do you still have a scar? Denial doesn't heal that easily.
Indeed, although I don't think I should show it.
Oh, a shame.
I'm not surprised you don't remember me. At the time, I was just a scion in my family, so no harm, no foul.
Kind of harm. Definitely foul. Still, this is a nice place, nice architecture. You've managed to gather a number of foreign dignitaries. Let me ask you, Tarnath here. You seem to be the Cobra, Queen of the Snakes here. What exactly is your plan for surviving any of us?
I think you shall see what my plan is later. I have conversed with many of the people here, and we're planning on doing some speeches, so I'll leave it as a surprise.
Oh, I love surprising.
I doubt you do.
It's difficult to be afraid now.
Oh, and whose shadow do I see passing by? Is that a Gavino under my roof?
There's at least 2 of them here, I believe.
They always stick their nose where it doesn't belong.
Well, can you blame them? How else do you find the rat?
Here, let's intercept them. I think it would be a fun conversation. Edenfell, darling.
Oh, I don't believe we've met.
We have not. See, I am Tarnith. I already know your name. And Alexander. How pleasant to meet you.
The pleasure's all ours, Miss Tarnith.
Truly and surely.
I must thank you for inviting me to this ball. I wasn't expecting to receive an invitation from someone such as yourself.
You are a foreign dignitary.
Of sorts.
You and your sister both.
I suppose so. Though it's rather recent development for me, though I hear it's something similar with yourself.
True, true. Let me ask you, what are your near plans for the future?
My plans for the future?
Yes, your plans.
Well, I suppose you've likely have heard of the threat to the south, have you not?
I have certainly heard of that.
Well, my plans are to help defend the city.
Excellent. That's not a bad plan. One that I do approve of.
I have some means to help protect it, but perhaps best not to speak it out so openly at the moment. Perhaps we can talk in private later about some of the methods that we could do about to protect Novrod and his people.
Perhaps. And Alexander, lad.
Ma'am.
How fares your father?
A bit better.
I should think so. He has 3 sons now instead of 0.
Yes, it was joyous news when I heard of that.
Unfortunately, he too bears a number of unfortunate scars.
Mm-hmm.
Years have not been kind to him.
Yes, I do hope, Alexander, that our families can perhaps put behind our petty squabbles and finally decide to do something together.
That is actually why I'm here tonight.
Well, excellent. That is why I have joined this party together.
I didn't expect the vast array of people to be here. All the different nobles and other dignitaries.
My arms are far reaching.
Yes. And it's a very it was quite
Friends is something
bring
we
all
could
these people
really
in.
use now.
Very smart.
Well, I do hope we can find common cause.
Well, common cause is easy to come by. Unfortunately, people tend to squabble tales over plans.
Indeed.
I also hope we can work through our family differences.
It is at this time that the McClintock himself is going to wander on over.
He'll get a peck on the cheek.
Ladies, gentlemen, as Daisy herself will be quick to tell you, I'm rather ill-mannered. That in itself would be a small sin. Unfortunately, I'm also quite unconcerned with it about my own disregard for propriety. So, therefore, I'm going to steal my wife away from you all and selfishly monopolize her time. I'd apologize, but that's not the sort of thing we barbarians do. And Ivar will take Daisy's hand and start leading her to the dance floor.
There's gonna be like a couple frames in the theoretical movie where Daisy is still like a pillar as he tries to yank on it, but then she'll.
As Daisy leaves, Alexander visibly relaxes.
Tarnit's gonna insight Alexander.
Go for it.
How's a 28?
She can clearly tell that him being a bit stiff, his very awkward speech there was because he was trying very hard to ignore Daisy's presence and was not succeeding.
All right, noted. Well, Alexander Edenfell, as much of a joy as it is to converse with you, I have other matters to attend to. I hope we can speak later tonight.
Of course, we understand.
I would appreciate the opportunity to speak more in depth with you sometime later.
Indeed, and maybe, possibly, the Gavino might entertain a meeting at some point. He's not been very receptive of my messages. So please, if you do meet with him, tell him I would like to speak.
I will try to convince him.
She will incline her head towards you and then move on. All right. So, we're going to change scenes to Trinity.
Hello.
All right. So, Trinity, you are about to prepare for an evening of light drinking, let's say.
Light.
Yes, indeed. When you see a guard detail running down from the upper part of the city going towards the lower portion of the city. Gregory steps out. Oi! What's going on, eh? Aye. We got some riots happening down in the streets. We're going to go deal with them.
Could
Right-o.
use a hand.
Trin, you want to go give him a hand?
I tried to ask the guard if he needs a hand. If they would need a hand.
Yeah. We've been having some troubles down there.
I'll accompany the guard.
All right, so you're heading down to the lower portions of the city. As you arrive, you see a very large crowd of screaming people and what seems like basically a shield wall of Varls in a circle, spears out, keeping all the people at bay who are just throwing rocks and debris at the Varl.
Okay, me as a player, my mind's going blank. What's Varl again?
They're basically 10-foot tall horned men. They're sort of like giants.
In other words, people are freaking out
have to.
because monsters, probably.
Well, Varl are a part of the city, but yeah.
I will try to help the guards in their efforts to suppress the fighting. Or whatever they're doing.
Yeah, they just kind of slam into the mob, throwing people aside. being like, "Oi, oi, break it up, break it up."
Okay, I'll start trying to do the same.
Give me an intimidation check.
She's proficient in that. Oh, whoops, wrong. Sorry.
I'm gonna count it because it didn't roll above 20.
Okay, so then total 18.
Total of 18. Right. Your voice is very clear and loud. What are you saying to get people to back off?
She probably like has her weapon out and basically saying, "Calm down, or else I start swinging," or something along that lines, or back off and get out of my way, and just general, random threats to get people to get out of the way and back off.
Right, so people start backing off. Some leave, a lot don't. They just have stopped shouting and throwing stuff, and instead are content to glare at the shield wall of Varl.
When I get close to one of the guards, I will whisper in their ear, like, "Now what do you want to do?" Probably the one I came with.
So, you know what? We're gonna put Trinity in charge, sorta, kinda. You're kind of the highest ranking officer here.
I don't know what to do. I will ask some of the guards if they know who started this or how it started.
You tell this to Gregory, and he's gonna nod his head and just stare out at the crowd and be like, "All right, who started this? Come on, fess up. What's the reason?" One of the people stepped forward. "They have food, and they're not sharing. We're starving out here, and they're bringing tons of it up to the upper cities." "Yeah, it's our food. We're bringing it to our people. And I can feed this whole district." Trinity, you can break in at any time.
Yeah, the problem is me as a player has no idea how to handle this situation. Really feel like I just got thrown into the deep end of a situation.
Right.
Trinity will look at Gregory for help. Very look of, I don't know what to do.
Regarding this caravan, right? They can't just take food.
I agree with that.
Right. Form up, lads. Don't let them get close.
I would like to try to convince the guy that was talking that basically along the lines of they are doing what they're supposed to. If you want food, work and pay for it.
There ain't no food to pay for. It doesn't matter if we have money. We don't have food. Yeah, he's going to continue on with this as the caravan starts moving up the city.
Yeah, I don't know how to de-escalate a situation like that.
What's your AC, Trinity?
19. Assuming I have my shield. Wait, do I have a shield? No, I don't think I have a shield.
No, you can have a shield if you want it.
No, I don't think I. Okay, yeah, I have a shield. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I recently bought one again. Okay, yeah, I have my shield.
As you're walking back, you feel something thump into your back, and you look back, and somebody threw a brick at you.
I would like to glare with murderous intent at whoever looks like they just threw it.
Another brick flies at you from another direction. You take 6 points of bludgeoning damage, and hear ringing in your ears, and you see that bricks, glass bottles, various just stones and rocks are being thrown at all the men across the board.
Yeah, this is not a situation Trinity's good for currently. or might just be a situation. She might have known how to do something.
A cudgel flies out from the crowd, striking one of the guards in a portion of his helmet that isn't protected, and he just goes down.
Trinity will try to carry him, like pick him up and like kind of shield him and carry him with us.
Make an athletics check.
Because, she doesn't want to leave the guy here to get attacked for doing his job.
All right, so you're kind of the focus of attention as you move out of the line of protection to get this guy and protect him, and you do not have your shield to AC now because you're protecting him.
Yeah.
So you take 6 points of damage from an axe that is thrown at you, and 5 points of damage from a glass bottle that shatters and parts of the shards stick into your armor and cut underneath.
Yeah.
Before pulling yourself back into formation.
My ability to see if I have any way of like scaring them away.
Gregory kind of saddles up next to you, shield up and helping protect you as well. They ain't gonna stop. Not unless there's blood.
Yes, but I'm not one to take a beating, especially when the people attacking us are just acting like bandits. They keep doing this, and I'll treat them about like I would bandits on the road.
Just give the order. We'll charge forward.
I'd prefer not to murder citizens, even if they are acting like this, because although they are acting like bandits, at the same time, I do recognize that they are just desperate, which just makes them all the more dangerous, unfortunately, especially if we start attacking them.
Trinity sees a torch hurtled and almost lands in one of the carts of food.
At this, she will shout out something along the lines of, "Idiots, if you burn the food, you're not going to get anything. You're probably just going to get attacked by the people who do own the food. Get murdered for nothing, basically, if you keep prolonging that action."
Persuasion check.
Yeah, 6.
Your shouts are drowned out by the jeers and cries of the crowd.
I don't like this situation. Why couldn't this just be a walk up and hit the enemy situation?
It could be.
No, that would just make things worse, because now not only are they starving, desperate people, but now they are defending themselves, starving, desperate people.
One of the people break from the crowd with a wood axe above his head, and he charges a line of guards.
Am I in a position where I could hit him?
He is about halfway to your position, and then you see 2 more people join him, then 3, then 5, and 10 people charging before he hits the line.
Before he hits the line, the first guy in the line, I would like to basically non-lethal, clearly non-lethal. Like I'm like basically I want to be like using the side of the two-handed battle axe to like basically batter him down, but not actually blood or killing him.
All right,
like
roll
first guy. And I want to action search as well while I'm doing this. Like I want this guy down, and then I want to try basically intimidate the people who are along the lines of like shout out to the people charging like, "You keep going on, this will be you," or worse. Assuming he goes down.
A hit.
How many attacks do I have at this level?
You should have 3.
2.
2. I think I only have 2.
Fighter 11 is when you get.
11 is 3. Gotcha.
Okay, so swing twice. Or do you think?
Roll your damage first. Why are you rolling a d10?
It's a two-handed battle axe.
Oh,
That's what
I thought you were
I was,
swinging a great axe.
I mean, it could be. If you want to use different, that's what I have.
It could. It's up to you.
I'll just stick with it.
All right. Boom. He almost doubles over at the impact. Just the wind knocked out of him. He's not down. He got hit pretty hard.
Considering that the others are, the whole point of this is I want them like scared that they keep coming, they will probably get murdered. So if he's not unconscious, I want to hit him again.
All right, go for it.
Keep in mind, this is non-lethal. I don't want to kill him. I am just trying to knock him out, basically.
16 hits.
Another 7 damage.
So you basically smack him in the stomach to make him lose his breath, and then you bring the axe and just bonk with the blunt end on the head, and he just goes straight down.
And now,
make an intimidation check.
Is there any chance I could argue for advantage considering I had just, like...
I'm not giving you advantage. These people are desperate.
Total 22.
So you somehow channel the blessing of Einherjar and scream, and lightning crackles from you, and all of them just kind of hesitate, and the entire crowd just pulls back a little bit.
Oh yeah, his attention. I forgot about that.
And the guards and you are they are followed, but no more violence is occurring. So you get up to the upper districts, and you see a large stone wall that seems a little bit haphazardly thrown together, and a gate. And you do see like half torn down mansions beyond the gate. The Varl stop at the gate, and I thank you for your help.
Is there anybody reasonably powerful in the area that I can talk about this situation with?
We have some lieutenants.
I'm more meaning like one of the nobles or somebody like that who own this food.
This food. Our troop just got into the city.
I would suggest trying to find some way to, at the very least, pacify them, the people. As the things go on, if things go on like they were today, consistently, and if they go on longer, you're going to have a full-on riot out there.
He stares at you for a long moment.
What my suggestion would be is perhaps bringing some portion of food for them to basically be like, this is for y'all. So that way, to pacify them at least somewhat. That, or try to distract them with some entertainment, perhaps, when you're coming in. Some way, either keep them
plan on leaving these walls now that I'm in here. And this is our food. He walks into the fortification.
And he's not adept to handle situations like this. Well,
all right.
Trinity's smart enough, she could have. But...
And now we go back to the ball. Alexander, you and Edenfell have found Ramona.
Was she at the table, or is she out, like, on the...
She is at the table, conversing with Wilhelm.
Alexander will just sit down and kind of put his face in his hands.
Well, sit back. Seems...
Welcome back. I have just spoken to Vinette of Sterling.
I see. We just spoke with, well, Ivar and Daisy and
Well, how did
Tenneth.
that go?
Tennis went all right. Some Daisy and Ivar, but as well as to be expected.
Hmm.
Them getting married was actually a solid plan on their part.
I would say so. Ivar and Daisy are both sound political minds and monsters.
Hmm. Well, Daisy told me why she's doing this. Well, and this is some sort of double play and crisscross, as it were. She seems to believe that her marrying Ivar would net her tennis men to accompany her on her sort of mission that she is being sentenced to.
Well, from what I hear, I don't think that her getting men is going to be that difficult. Well, rumor has it that the Vanguard has called this meeting here to discuss a grand alliance to march out and meet the enemy.
Hmm. I'm not. I'm not sure if marching out and meeting them is a good plan.
Well, if that is your opinion, I have excellent news then.
Oh,
I have secured us passage through Sterling, if we wish to take it.
no, you misunderstand, sister. I'm not saying we shouldn't meet them in battle. I'm saying we shouldn't march out recklessly into the fray without any plan.
That may be true, but if you choose to join me, I will be heading to Sterling at some point in the near future.
I see. So you'll be leaving then?
It is not soon. There are still preparations to make. I should be able to leave within the month, perhaps.
Right.
You have plenty of time to think it over if you want to join me. It is an option.
It's not that I'm not happy that you're getting further away from this mess. It's just it's been nice having you around these past couple months.
It has been nice having you around, which is why I hope you will join me. I think we should quit Novrod. I do not think it can stand.
I I can't leave Novrod.
Oh, I see.
There's more at stake than what I originally thought. It's not just the people of the country that are in danger. It's the gods themselves.
And what of your sister? Are you not in danger if you stay?
I am, but what's new? I suppose
I suppose. What is new?
I I believe that Thel has given me all this power to help stand against this threats and be her champion. But it's to be hard. But I must do whatever I can. If you must go, then go. I do not judge you for it. I'm much happier you being somewhere safe.
I must go.
Sights. Edenfell just kind of sits there silent for a moment.
Alexander, seem very quiet and silent.
I'm angry, but I can't fault their reasoning because it is genuinely good.
I see. So, what do you plan? Do you plan to stay in Novgorod?
I have to.
I see.
I didn't want to be a part of this city. I left it for a reason, but it's still my home. I have to at least try.
And what if you cannot outrun them this time? If all goes the worse. Will you stand and die, or if all is fallen, will you then run? Can you stand the burden of being only one step ahead of the enemy once more?
Um, Alexander gets a bit twitchy at her words. I can't say whether I'd stand my ground and fight or keep moving. But until this situation is taken care of, I'll never stop fighting them.
I do apologize, but if you two decide that the fight is unwinnable here, do remember Sterling.
I'm sorry, sister, but we can't lose this fight. We must win. I don't expect to see you for a while. At least not till this gets closer to being over.
Sister, I don't think we can win here.
We have to.
You seem more adamant about saving this city than I do.
There. I have my reasons.
I care more about the people than the actual city.
That's do I. But the people need a place to stay, a home to return to. If we leave and march on the armies and we come back and there's nothing, what was the point?
It is at this time that Henry Oberon will take the stage and begin his speech. But before that, Daisy.
Yes, my husband is stolen away and is likely going to be conspiring with me. What is going on?
Well, I do believe your task has become ever easier from what I hear.
I have the dirtiest little rumor in my brain that is telling me she's going to try the same stupid shit I am.
I believe she is.
That is the worst possible plan.
Maybe. Maybe.
It is the least optimal of all possible futures. Or abandoning everything resembling logistical acumen or tactical brilliance in exchange for hoping only through the power of hearts and minds to gather a force devastating enough to impart some kind of change. Like this battle isn't going to be a generational conflict?
Well, I do believe that speeches will be in order if you have something prepared or in mind. Maybe we can see that.
I did and I do. They will hear me.
Is there anyone on this dance floor you want to speak to?
Well, I still have not managed to defeat Navarro in an arm wrestling contest, so I need to do that.
I shall leave it to you then, dear. And he will back away and give a deep bow to Daisy as he moves off to somewhere else on the dance floor.
Yeah, the Daisy strategy at this point basically is to just get everybody in the room to sort of passively accept the fact that this weird barbarian queen that has just become the Queen of Novrod is potentially the strongest woman on the planet.
Do a strength-based persuasion check.
Can I do strength performance?
You know what? Sure.
Remind me of how DM inspiration works.
DM inspiration works. You can re-roll any die.
Do I have to take the re-roll, or do I get to pick the better of the two?
You would have to take the re-roll.
I don't know. Dirty 20 is pretty good, but it's also only 10 on the die.
Do you want to use DM inspiration on a strength-based performance check?
Yes, I'm gonna fucking do it.
The answer is always absolutely.
But this is Daisy. She doesn't roll as well.
No change! For those listening, Daisy literally just rolled a 10 and a 10. Both of those plus 10, keep in mind. But
Yes, I do have 20.
you are reasonably persuasive at convincing people that you are indeed the strongest woman in the world.
Daisy needs them to believe it, so it will be extra true.
With such feats as standing jump and touching the underside of the balcony above in full armor.
Yeah, but this ain't no monk bullshit, alright?
It is not. What's Neek doing?
Alright, so Nick at this point has realized he doesn't know anybody here. Nobody here knows him. Nobody cares who he is or what he's doing. There's like a few people who want to give him a side glance because of his interactions with Jaxarion. But otherwise, he understands that if, like, Alexander and Ramona and all of them seem to be uselessly incapable of affecting any kind of change with words, he needs to attack this from a different angle. So he's going to the stables. He does, in fact, have a panther, and, he's going to be like, yep, just got to go over here. Might need to sweet talk his way past whoever's, like, managing them just to, get in.
You exit the front doors and are greeted with a raging storm outside.
Yeah, that's about right. Gotta go find the critters. Where would I have built the stables if I were designing this architecture here?
Neek will make his way to the stables fairly easily, as many of the horses that brought carriages here had to be stowed away.
Lovely, lovely, dude. Alright. Alright, gonna cast Speak with Animals.
Oh, okay. I've got to voice horses now. Shit.
And Neek is basically gonna be going around to everybody's horse and try and figure out who is the most, like, specialist beast of burden and who thinks their masters are cruel and evil people. If anybody pings those two boxes.
Okay.
Because if your horse likes you, then I mean, like, you're not a problem. But if your horse doesn't like you, then you're a motherfucker.
All right, I'm gonna make you make. Oh God. Charisma-based animal handling.
Okay, Chris, why does a spell make my animal handling worse?
I don't know. What do you want from me?
I don't know. What's 22 game? What am I told you a week ago that Nick's probably going to talk to the horses in the stable.
Okay, fine. Just do a regular animal handling.
All right, we'll put 3 points and bump that up to 25 then.
Okay. I think I'm gonna have to get back to you on that, because now I have to consider what the fuck everybody thinks of their various masters.
Yeah, I mean, somebody like Parker Unicorn in here, or like things to think about once you introduce a ranger to the party. And he promptly unintroduces himself to the party and fuck off like he did.
I think I know who definitely treats their horses the worst. But I also have to consider who's actually riding horses here. Oh, there's a griffin.
Yo! Griffin dude! Why the fuck did they let you in here with horses?
I am rather well-mannered.
Oh, excellent, but dude. Oh, you've even got the same accent. Is that why they called him a Griffin Knight?
I don't have the same accent as my master.
Dude, I totally can't tell. It's like way lighter. Yes. Anyway, I'm Neek. This is Rudel. If you can see the necklace, that's Poe.
Hello, I am Krell.
What's up, Krell? So I'm not good at like talking with these fucking dumbasses inside. And I was just trying to get a good idea of whether or not any of these people are like so genuinely monstrous and evil that they've like gotten into animal abuse. See if these horses are doing all right. That also tell me like how the infrastructure of food is growing in various countries.
Oh, well, those two over there aren't doing particularly well.
Oh man, guys, what's up?
They're just panting. They're not talking.
Homie, all right. I'm like the horse lord.
One of them actually seems to like cringe away.
Oh man, they've really done you guys dirty. Meek's gonna like look for insignias or identifiers to tell him what house or even like style of house.
Make a history check. See if you can recognize them.
Alrighty, even if I don't recognize them, I will recognize them if I see them again.
Neek has noted the symbol with just a 6.
Don't think I've seen that one yet. Okay, let me scribble that one down. Hey, Rudel, buddy, can you do these guys smell off, or are they just like mistreated or malnourished?
They look to be a little bit of both.
No, that's not good. Okay. Yo, so Krell, have you been flying around? I know it's kind of like been stormy for like ever here.
Me and my master took wing above the clouds.
Gotcha. That means you wouldn't have gotten a great view of the city till you came parking back down. This place isn't doing so well when it comes to like agricultural ability right now. I mean, is the harvest soon? I don't even know what season we're in.
The harvest passed about a month ago.
Damn. We don't have a whole year for my plant growth to do anything. Shit. Okay. Harvest was a month ago. Maybe have you seen anywhere north of here, or has it all just been, Orc City?
I have mainly been to the south, and it's been what did you call them? The green monsters. Just a wave upon the land.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that these guys don't really understand that you could probably take a fence-sized paintbrush to the map, paint it green, and you're about right.
You're not lying. I have seen it from an aerial view. There are times that you cannot see the ground for the number of greenskins.
Gotcha. Yeah, that sounds like some Vanguard. Okay. Yo, any of you guys speak elf horse? Got any elf horses here? That a bit of a difference? I don't know. I don't get to use this magic on multicultural horses.
It's all horse. They have different accents, but it's all horse.
Hey, do any of y'all horses have an elvish accent? You know what? I'll find a leaf on a saddle. That'll fucking tell me.
You find one, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Hey, buddy.
Hello.
Are you from north of here, or are you one of them local Laurel family type guys?
Oh, the Laurel horses. Those are those two over there. The ones that aren't talkative.
Oh, so those are the Laurel horses.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Thanks for making that super clear. Awesome. Hey, I don't know how good your color vision is, but did you see the guy who got off of him?
No, we were ahead.
Damn. Hey, did anybody see the rider on either of those two horses?
I did.
Hey, buddy, you got any good eyes?
Sort of hard to see. The carriage was in the way.
Oh, okay. You see anybody wearing yellow armbands?
There are quite a few of the humans wearing them.
But none of the ones in the carriage?
That carriage?
Yeah.
No, he wasn't wearing one.
Oh, so he's a pussy too. I swear, elves are 50-50 whether the ride or die are absolute bitches.
He's a Laurel, says one of the guard horses that is just guarding the outside, so it's definitely a Gavino horse. It exists within the animals too.
Oh man, we got animal racism going on here. Careful, guys. Man, are there any rats or crows nearby?
I think we're going to transition back into the...
Yeah, we can go back. I'm having a good time.
So, Henry Oberon takes the stage. In regards to the attack coming from the south, the battle is not to the strong alone. It is to the vigilant, the active, the brave. Besides, we have no choice. If we were base enough to desire it, it is too late to retire from this contest, too late to surrender. There is no retreat but in submission and slavery. Our chains are forged. Their clanking may be heard from the lips of innocence. The war is inevitable. Let it come. I repeat, let it come. It is in vain to extenuate the matter. Gentlemen may cry peace. Peace. But there is no peace. The war has begun. The next gale sweeps from the south will bring to our ears the song of swords. Our brethren are already in the field. Why stand we here idle? What is it that gentlemen wish? What would they have? Is life so dear, or peace so sweet, as to be purchased by the chains and slavery? I know not what course others may take. But as for me, I shall die upon this hill, for this people in this city. Thank you. Have a good night. And he will leave the stage.
Yeah, that sounded like a Henry to me.
He has no idea what's coming.
Seems so. That's to be expected. Most of these nobles have sat in the houses this whole time and haven't even begun to see the full scale of these invasion.
Would anyone like to take the stage?
I do have something I'd like to do real fast, but it's not that.
Okay, nobody wants to take their speech right now, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, Daisy needs to have the last word.
I want to have word sent to someone at the Gavino household to bring me a few copies of the maps I had made with the battle lines.
Okay. That's going to take a minute.
Yeah, I figured.
Actually, now that the speech is over, I think we're going to turn back to Trinity, because I forgot to do that.
All good.
Oh boy, more torture for me.
Yay! Alright, so Trinity is heading back down the city.
Yep. She's gonna be avoiding the crowd that probably could recognize her now.
You did work with one of the guards. With the guards.
Yeah. But I mean, I imagine when she kind of like bulldozed the guy down, it gathered attention. So I don't imagine people are happy with her, so she would be avoiding sticking out currently.
Yeah. Alright.
Who knows?
So,
maybe the lightning distracted them from her actual appearance.
Trinity, making her way through the streets, can see in the gutters and on the sidewalks just corpses. Unmoved, just staying in the streets. There's been some kind of fight around here, and nobody's really bothered to clean it up.
That's not good. Probably people attacking like the caravans that come in, like the one just now, or whatever they were.
Perhaps.
Or just maybe two rival groups who don't get along.
Moving on from the corpses littering the street, Trinity sees them ever increasingly throughout the city now.
Just so I'm clear, Trinity wouldn't know anything about undead, correct?
Next to nothing.
So she would not know that having a bunch of dead bodies would be a terrible idea, especially considering we have seen them use undeads, because she was not there for that.
Indeed. Trinity does see from one house a large number of rats going into and out of the house. Rats are almost a common sight, but it's odd to see so many going into and out of a particular house.
I'm assuming Greg's with me.
Yep. It's just you two.
I will point them out to him.
Right, you want to go investigate?
Probably should.
I mean, it could have somebody like being Pied Piper and controlling all the rats or something.
Or It could just be a particularly good smelling meal while the rats are down there. I mean, there's
Right.
no.
Yeah.
She will indicate to the bodies that there's clearly enough stuff that they've probably been.
Oh, I suppose so. You want me to open door? Or you want to do it?
She will just kick the door.
All right, roll a athletics check.
She's good at that. A total 19.
You kick the door and you hear something break, but the door stands steady. Yeah, one more good kick like that ought to do it.
She hesitates to be like, if somebody's living in here, then we're probably gonna get the guards called on us for breaking and entering before kicking again.
I mean, I am a god, so this isn't breaking and entering.
Total 21.
It's keeping the pace. You kick down the door, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh boy, it stinks that bad.
Oh yeah.
Okay, total 12. There goes my indomitable.
Did force me to make a reroll, so. The smell hits you like a wave. Trinity's eyes stink. Her mouth is instantly coated in the stench, and you just smell rot. You take 8 points of poison damage, and Trinity just turns away and instantly loses her lunch. Gregory steps up beside her and holds her hair back. Right, out.
Which
out.
night of the rest days is this, whatever?
This will be night 4.
Okay, this is night 4. Okay.
Aye.
Okay.
Trinity, after recovering, looks in and you see corpses piled up inside.
By the way, between throwing up, she would have tried to say she's fine. Like as he's trying to hold her hair.
Right. There are corpses piled up inside of this building.
She will just kind of look at it and be like, should we just section this place off and burn it down?
Maybe, but it'll probably start a fire. Yeah. Buildings are pretty packed close together, but, stone doesn't catch easy. Right, shame it is.
Should we go try to see what happened here?
I think that's for the best. So,
is there a well or something nearby?
Yes.
Let's see. Trinity would have like a rare piece of clothing with her, probably, right? Something to be cloth-like.
Yeah.
She will basically tear, depending on what it is, to basically make like almost a bandana sort of thing. Dip it in like get it.
Oh, you can just put it on the road because it's always raining here in Novrod.
The point is get it wet, and then basically like a little mask to like try to block some of the smell.
Oh.
She would have made 2.
Gregory's kind of doing the same thing.
She would have made 2.
Right, Elf, go first.
As he tries to go first, she will grab him and be like, "No, you won't," and like kind of like put him behind her.
All right, then. Don't need to be so pushy about it. Trinity enters first.
Okay. Do I need to roll perception?
Investigation.
Investigation. I'm not particularly good at this. Total 5.
That's a lot of corpses.
Yeah. Maybe I'll get lucky. There's like a very like obvious bloody print somewhere that like shows like this area got touched often.
Yep. I don't know how much int this is. There's no blood anyway. These people didn't die to the sword.
I mean, there's a food shortage. It could have been starvation, but quite a few people here for that.
I mean, looks around. There's not a scrap of food anywhere.
No food here wouldn't necessarily indicate that these people starved. Unfortunately, it is very possible that somebody came in here and raided the food.
Well, the emaciated arms show that. There ain't no meat on those bones.
She's like he said the arms, but she's looking at the legs, probably like, oh yeah. I'm kidding.
Why
She's
didn't
probably
they
not.
leave? The door was open. They just all starved in here.
I don't know.
Trinity sees movement in the corner.
She will have her weapon ready in case something jumps out at her, and she will see what this is in the corner.
Trinity makes her way over to some corpses.
Is it rats moving the corpses?
And then, as she gets closer, she realizes one of those corpses ain't a corpse.
Hey, Greg, looks like we have a live one here.
They do? Oh, God. His chest rises ever so slightly and falls ever so slightly.
So just so we're clear, is it like grown man? Does it look like kid?
He's a man. All of his hair is patchy, and most of it seems to have fallen out. He is dirty and blood. There's blood all over him, which is different from most of the corpses here. He
hasn't been eating the bodies, has he?
He's currently unconscious. What was that?
The bodies don't have bite marks and stuff like that on them. He hasn't been eating the bodies, has he?
You notice a leg nearby that looks like it's been stripped of meat a bit.
Seeing this, Trinity probably does gag a little bit, but luckily he has nothing left to throw up.
The man stirs and opens two swollen eyes that seem completely glazed over. What's this? What? Who's there? Who's there? Demons! Demons! Outside the door, they've come in! He grabs a knife and shakily stands to his feet and does a random swing. He does not hit Trinity.
Yeah. I kind of was expecting her to get attacked, so yeah, that makes sense. She will try to...
Hear me! Hear me! Close the door! You'll let them in!
She will try to basically disarm him, grab him and try to wrestle the knife out of his hand.
All right, make an athletics check.
Total 24.
Easily done. He's kind of shakily, randomly swinging, and you just grab him by the wrist, take the knife out of his hand. There's no strength left in his fingers.
I will look at Greg and I was like, you might should consider flagging down one of the nearby guards to take him.
Right, on the way. He starts hustling out of the hut. Who's there? Let go of me!
Calm down. I'm working with guards currently.
Guards?
Yes, we just noticed something weird was going on inside here, so we just had to come check it out.
You're with the guards?
I'm working with them currently.
He sort of like falls to his knees and is like madly cackling with tears flowing from his eyes.
I'm guessing he can't see.
Definitely not.
I
The
will
rain's past. Is it over?
have rains passed.
Yes. No, I can still hear them.
What demons were you talking about before? What do you think is outside?
I don't know. I couldn't see them. Just any time any of us tried to leave, they'd drop and scream. So much screaming. We couldn't leave. We couldn't get out.
When he talks about people dropping and screaming, can I roll like Arcana to see if I think that's like a magical thing or a sanity thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
What do I roll?
Go ahead and roll Arcana.
Total 17 because I rolled a 50.
Could be magic. Maybe, but you're not sure.
And there's probably no reason for magic people to trap people inside like this.
Yeah, why would they do that?
I will ask the man, why would somebody trap you in here?
It wasn't someone, it was something. Messengers of the gods. They're punishing us. It's the end of days. I'm hungry. It's time to eat. He stands up, finds the arm of a corpse, and tears it off, and then he wanders over to the center of the room.
Trinity wants to stop him. At the same time, she also doesn't want him going berserk right now.
All right. He takes a bite out of the fetid, rotting meat.
Yeah, that's definitely. Any chance the guards like arrive around now to detain him and take him into custody?
He is halfway finished with the arm by the time the other guards show up.
There's probably another puddle of throw up when the guards show up.
Yeah, I have a feeling that Trinity just left the building, left him to it, and just stood outside.
Yeah. Like, I think I would like to stop that, but at the same time, like, you know, she doesn't want to end up actually having to fight him.
Right. All right. So he is taken away, and you continue on with your patrols.
I will
We're going to go back.
I will
to the
comment.
mall. Oh.
I will mention what he said to Greg and ask Greg's opinion about it. Like the people, like dropping down, screaming when they try to leave.
Right, but he couldn't see anything, so we don't know what was really happening. That's just all he had, right?
Well, to be fair, we don't know if his not being able to see is from him starving or recent, or if that's something that. In other words, we don't know if that's a new or an old thing.
Right, but he's not exactly a reliable witness, but something kept these people in here. The door wasn't locked or barricaded. There were no scratch marks on the door.
I mean,
No blood.
people jumping down screaming could be magical, but I can't think of any reason somebody would trap somebody inside like that.
For that.
And why just this one house?
Don't know.
The guy claimed it was messengers of gods punishing them, but that doesn't seem likely.
I mean, it's possible. Gods.
Yeah.
I won't say work in mysterious ways, but they work.
Yeah, no, I acknowledge that that's definitely a possibility. You're talking to somebody who was dead for a while. and
Oh,
watch
yeah.
the
We need to have a
little.
conversation about that sometime. There seems to be some trauma behind that.
I just don't like fire now. But I also had the privilege of being around while some souls were getting judged and passed on.
Really, you don't like fire? You were the one who was suggesting to light up the house. Yeah.
It's fine as long as I'm not too close to it.
As long as you're not too close to it, I guess it's fine.
You know, it's not like it's completely like, can't stand it all. It just, it makes me nervous now.
Right.
Also, I forgot she was afraid of fire. Shush. It wasn't until you mentioned her death that I remembered, oh yeah, she's afraid of fire.
Is something weird's happening down near the flats. I want to go check it out.
Seems like
We
we're
seem
dealing
to
with
be on a roll
tonight.
anyway.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll figure out what's going on here from there. Maybe they'll be connected.
Maybe. All right, moving back to the ball. So, started with Alexander and Edenfell last time, so let's start with Neek.
Gotcha.
After visiting the stables, what's his plan?
Oh man, what can Neek do? Well, Neek is aware that none of his powers can help with the current agricultural stuff going on, but the city's a fucking hellhole right now. If this is the stables where the Von Gut is keeping everybody's horses, where is she keeping her own horses and such?
An excellent question.
Not one I'm hugely gonna pursue. Neek's gonna come back into the party.
All right, you have re-entered the party, shaken off the cold of the rain.
He's looking around for Laurels. Anybody who notices him will notice that Neek is no longer in happy himbo mode.
Right. Okay. So, Matic Laurel is not the hardest person to spot. He is in the middle of the dance floor, dancing with various peoples. As Neek is heading that way, he stumbles into somebody he didn't see.
Oh, apologies. I need to look down more.
Yeah, you should. Most of us here are half your height.
My sincerest apologies. However, there is no ethical consumption under capitalism, so get the fuck out of my way.
All right.
Proceeding forward, Meek is not afraid to look a little rude.
You proceed forward toward Matic Laurel.
Hi, are you the famous Laurel I've heard about?
I am indeed Matic. And you are...
Neek.
Neek.
Yes,
Not
and this
familiar.
is you are not important enough to be familiar with me. However, I'm reasonably familiar with you.
Uh-huh.
I have some mild business to discuss with you involving opportunities from the East.
Opportunities from the East. You're not representing them, though.
Oh, you did not see my interaction with Jaxarion earlier?
I made note of it. However, Ambassador Aofi is the only one here who represents the East currently.
Yes, well, you don't get to the top of a ladder without stepping on a few rungs.
I presume you are one of said rungs, then.
Oh, yes, certainly. I'm a little new to town. And I'm willing to trade the little favors I have for various pieces of knowledge or expertise.
And what, pray tell, might you have to offer?
Well, I do have a very large secret. However, we might want to speak a little more privately than we are here.
Whatever you have to discuss can be discussed here.
Meek will switch to Draconic and say, are you at all familiar with this language?
He stares at you blankly.
Oh, I'm sorry, you don't speak that one.
No.
He'll switch to Orcish. Perhaps you know the language of your enemy.
Again, blank stare.
This one usually requires an instrument, but he'll speak Celestial. Are you at least a faithful man?
He sort of slowly and stumblingly says, I can understand it.
Yes, well, you may know from the variance of the traits I am capable of speaking, and my current lack of patience with you, that your opportunity and importance in my eyes is about to be blown away like a mote in the storm.
Make a persuasion check.
Well, sheer dumb luck. 7.
Add a d4 to the result.
9.
He seems flummoxed by the language, doesn't seem to be following completely, and just tries to piece together what you're saying. This is fine, very well. Meet me in the upstairs balcony in about 5 minutes.
I'll see you then.
All right, and then we'll move to Daisy.
Gotcha. All right. Well, Daisy is aware vaguely of everybody's broad stance on things, and that there's going to be a series of speeches, and this might be her last good opportunity to actually hammer anything out with Alexander.
So she's making her way over to Alexander then?
She is going to approach him.
All right. What is Alexander and Edenfell doing? Are they going to split ways finally?
You planning on saying anything?
As in getting up there and speaking?
Yes.
As of right now, no.
So, I have some things to say, but I'm not sure if I want to wait for a few other people to voice their stance on this first. So, Wilhelm, what says your plans after all this?
After all this, I am not sure. But I do plan on speaking.
Right.
If Alexander and Edenfell aren't going to go try to talk to somebody or do something, Daisy will make her way over.
There is somebody I want to speak to.
Wilhelm. Oh, who do you want to go speak to?
I want to go try to talk to Kessler.
Ah, it's Kelser, not Kessler.
I'm sorry, Kelser. It's very similar to Edenfell's last name, so I always get confused.
Yeah.
Kelser, my bad.
How does Alexander want to join her? I know that he wanted to talk to Kelser at some point.
No. Kelser's the priest, right?
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, no, Alexander doesn't really have interest in talking to him.
All right. So Edenfell, you look around and you see that he is on the top level.
So, I did just.
Edenfell flies up to him.
Yep, that's exactly what I was going to do.
Just bonjour.
Stairs? We don't need stairs.
Oh. Wilhelm will stand up and begin making his way to the stage. Still a little while, though. Well, and since there was us, Alexander.
Did Edenfell really fly while wearing a dress?
Yep.
Yep.
Alexander is not being very talkative.
Have you noticed that Draskin has made his way out of the party?
I hadn't.
He is heading towards the doors as we speak. And would you look at that? Boris seems to be following him. Methinks that something is happening there.
Maybe. I already talked to both of them a bit earlier. They seemed not too happy with one another.
Alexander,
Yes.
they are taking it outside.
Maybe?
They are vowels. They are more likely to handle things with their fists. What if they kill each other?
I don't know. As long as they don't hurt anyone else.
Ramona will stand up and start making her way towards the entrance. Daisy will make her way to the table and find Alexander alone.
Oh, that's mildly inconvenient.
Edenfell took off and flew up to the top balcony, and Ramona has made her way towards the entrance. Wilhelm seems to be making his way towards the stage.
Alexander is just kind of sitting. He's got his head kind of leaned back and he's got his hands over his eyes, kind of rubbing the bridge of his nose. He's not going to notice you walking up.
Hello.
Alexander removes his hand from his face and he sees you. And his expression just kind of sours. He doesn't say anything yet, though. He's just staring at you.
We've built up quite the wall between you and
I guess. What do you want, Daisy?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever known. I know what I've told myself I've wanted. I know what I've had and I know what I've enjoyed. But I don't think I've ever had something that I've really needed. Like I almost have. The subject of family is very sensitive to you, as it is to me.
Family is very important to me.
I feel like I've definitely put a stain on that. I don't know. I don't need your approval to survive. I'm not doing this because there's some pathological desire to dance for you, Alexander. I don't think it's good for you to hate me.
Daisy, I'm just angry. You messed up. You betrayed us, and you clearly don't feel bad about it.
Betrayal. Treachery. You people use these words as curses, but they're your only strength. They're our only hope. Where's your scar, Alexander? Where's the knife? Do you know what betrayal is? Have you seen it?
Daisy, I don't want to argue this point with you.
You don't get to argue with me. I'm a queen. I asked you a question. As a member of the Guard, have you seen betrayal? Do you know what it looks like? Tell me.
What is it you want, Daisy? What do you want to hear me say?
Most of me wants to be right. That's my favorite thing to be.
Clearly.
I don't like being sorry. These feelings, these thoughts, the word, they've all been used against me in very inappropriate ways before. I've seen betrayal. I know what it means. What I tried to do to you guys, it was rude. Wrong, perhaps it was amoral, but it was a decision that would have improved our overall standing.
Maybe it
You
would have.
act as if
Maybe it would have.
Speak.
I'll be the first to admit that my father is an insufferable ass. But he's still family.
What does family mean to you?
Family? What does it mean?
Yes, what does the word mean, Alexander? Whose family to you? What's the qualifier? Is it blood? Is it the lessons that he taught you?
I don't know. I guess to me, family is those that you care about, that you lay down your life for, that you're willing to stand by. Again, my father, I, I couldn't call him a good man. He isn't. Hell, I myself have hated him. But I, I don't, I don't know, Daisy. My feelings about that man are too complicated for me to just give you an answer to. I care about him despite his faults. Not as much as I care about my brothers or our group even.
I see now that I can't see. I've never seen. I've never had family, Alexander.
And I was fully committed to welcoming you to mine.
I can't believe you.
Because you don't want to, not because it isn't true.
Because I've never seen it.
Daisy, you came into our group and you traveled with us for admittedly not very long, but you fought with us and you were with us and you helped me. And hell, I liked you. You became one of us and I would have laid down my life for you. And then I found that we had an actual familial connection and I was fully ready to welcome you as a sister.
What did you do that evening
What?
when we first got back? What were you doing? What does your life look like the moment you pieced your family back together? What did you do?
I went and spoke with my father to show him that we all got back so that he knew his sons were alive. He had written them off as dead. And I frankly was worried they were gone too. And then suddenly I had them all together again. And then almost immediately after, you go after my father? How is this not a betrayal, Daisy?
He's fine.
But would he have been had we not stepped in?
Yes. Or maybe not. After all, I only knew him as a potential raging Hulk monster. Do you know that I spent a couple days there while I was protecting the king before I ran into any of you? Where I first learned where my mother was and who her doctor was and where to find her? Do you know the things that I heard about that man?
No.
About where you had to hide from him? Where my brothers had to hide from him? Because I was never there? Are you going to tell me you've never feared him?
No, I won't tell you that. I'm not going to lie to you, Daisy. My father is a bad man. He has been for a very long time now. But that doesn't mean I want him dead. And when I brought back my brothers, he softened just a little. And I had hope. I don't know. Maybe that things would get better between all of us. And they still might. But I don't know, Daisy. I don't want to lose anyone else.
Well, it's not up to you or I, necessarily, whether or not you've lost me.
Whether or not I lose you?
Yes, that's not our decision anymore.
Daisy.
Remus, Nikolai, they're here.
Daisy.
We got them back.
My sister. As soon as you...
I brought him back. But you're the only one who can decide whether or not to forgive me. And at this point, I'm not sure how much I care.
To deserve my forgiveness. Daisy, you're clearly unapologetic about the whole thing.
You are damn right I am. I feel bad that it hurt you. That you're not mad, you're hurt. There's a difference. I have seen them. I've had people be one and pretend to be the other. I'm sorry that my standard for betrayal is a bit higher of a bar to meet than I think I've committed against you.
All right. I think we can turn to Edenfell and her conversation with Kelser.
Oh, hello.
Hello. That was a bit of a display.
What display?
Your flight.
I suppose brings me to why I'm here.
And why might that be?
After our conversation and the nature of these wings, I went to go speak with Thal.
Oh, you communed with your god then?
I did. Except she wasn't the one that was there.
Oh?
Yes, it was Asta.
My ancestor was there.
That he was.
Huh. What did he say?
He simply told me that Stell is going through some changes at the moment.
Uh-huh.
But that he came to speak with me instead. And he revealed a number of things to me. But some of which I found very frightening, to say the least.
Such as?
He began to make it clear to me that all this war and all this death and the arrival of these creatures has had an impact on not just all of us, but on the gods as well. And I'm starting to fear the power shift that will happen within the divine hierarchy if the threat continues to take hold of civilization.
Have you told anybody of this?
Nobody yet.
Good. Don't. It would cause untold panic.
I didn't intend to at the moment.
Yes, making people aware of this would probably cause more harm than good.
There's one I briefly might have hinted at it, but she is also within the clergy.
Uh-huh. We must strike. We need to strike. We have to stop this.
But I don't think strike's the right word for it.
What do you think the right word is?
We should defend this place and everywhere else we can. Because if civilization continues to fall, that's how the gods begin to fall as well.
If we
Us,
fight here, the city will be ruined. Even in victory, we'll lose it. We must strike out.
do you not think that the city will be gone when we come back? There's many of them. They can go around us. You think we can make a big enough wall of people to stop their wall of people?
If we strike at the heart, cut the head off the snake, and the body can be dealt with.
I don't think you fully understand how these creatures operate. Killing their leaders won't stop them. All they know is slaughter and bloodshed. They will keep going regardless without anybody to lead them. That will not stop them.
But if we can gather a force of all the kingdoms, we could build a wall of men unbreakable.
I suggest we build a wall of traps, plans, skirmishes before we reach the wall of men. These
Edenfell, the city starves already, and there is no siege put to it. Building walls will only hem us in to die without food.
I don't think you quite understand the
Staying here is death. The only life is striking at the heart.
I am death. You don't understand. I cannot let any more cities fall. I risk losing so much. If even a little bit of that power diverts to... I see you don't understand.
And stay in the city of the dead. I plan to march.
Edenfell will kind of fly off back down.
Alright, and it's time for a second speech. As Wilhelm takes the stage.
Woo!
Prague has fallen. Orm has fallen. Kislev has fallen. But has the last word been said? Must Orp disappear? Is the defeat final? No. Believe me, I who am speaking to you with the full knowledge of the facts, and who tell you that nothing is lost. The same means that overcame us can bring us victory one day. This war is not limited to the unfortunate territory of our countries. This war is not over as a result of the Battle of Orm or the burning of Kislev. This war is unprecedented in scale. All the mistakes, all the delays, all the suffering do not alter the fact that there are all the means necessary to crush our enemies one day. Vanquished today by an overwhelming force, in the future we will be able to overcome by superior overwhelming force. The fate of the world depends on it. Let us gather together and strike. We will win. With that, he leaves. All right, Trinity.
I'm scared.
You have made your way to the flats, the area of the city that has been built under the mountain, or not under the mountain, but on the plains before the mountain. As you make your way to the edge of the city, you see that a small crowd has sort of formed. Some curious and some running away in terror.
That's probably not good.
Trinity will get to the edge and she will see a great big hulking ogre.
Well, that's definitely not good.
He is draped in furs and wears a large hat on the top of his head, his neck kind of sunken in, and he is rotund and fat. And he carries with him a very large sack, and he smiles broadly at everyone.
Do I know what ogres are? Or is it just...
Yes.
Okay.
Terran saw ogres. He fought ogres.
Oh, right.
They're with the enemy.
Yep. Trinity now, as he's now going by Trinity, will approach prepared to fight.
He offers his arms wide as you start to approach, and reaches to his back and presents a very large fur.
She doesn't make any move to take out her attack. Like, she's waiting for him to say something.
Ugh. He kind of moves his hands back and forth, puts the fur in one hand and like offers it, but while at the same time taking his other fist back towards him.
Why are you here?
It kind of looks at you a bit confused. Takes his backpack off and digs out another fur.
You understand me?
He just kind of looks around, looks at the other people. He takes from his backpack what looks like an ingot and holds it up. Holds the ingot in one hand and the furs in the other hand, and kind of like motions back and forth.
He's one of the ingots for the furs. I understand that. I don't know what to do to the ogre. I consider an enemy, but who's not attacking? Why? I'm going to trade. Trinity looks at Greg. It's like, I know these creatures like him were in a part of the horde that we fought on our way here.
Right.
But he's not exactly attacking. Seems like he wants to trade.
Yeah, well, don't think there's much for him, eh? My suggestion would be shoo him off and make him move on. But I don't know.
It doesn't look like he exactly understands us, so I don't
It could
really
put
know.
some guards on him and make sure everything's well behaved.
Problem is, if he decided not to behave, I'm not sure the average guard could deal with him.
Righto.
I've fought things like him before. They are not something you want to fight. They were difficult to take down even with our group. And as you know, our group tends to have a few quite excellent fighters.
While you've been having this conversation, the ogre takes a large pot off of his back, throws a couple things in, and seems to be preparing a meal. This gathers the attention of the surrounding crowd.
I don't know how to shoot with this thing that doesn't understand us. And now that it's gaining a crowd, it's getting worse. Why can't you give me simple solutions where it's just obvious bad thing? I smacked it.
I'm not gonna give you that easy.
But I like that easy.
He fills the pot rather quickly, and uses a very large ladle to dip into it, and seems to take a sip, and nods his head. You hear this low rumbling humming coming from him.
Out of curiosity, what did he put in it? Do I know?
Make perception check.
Like, is it normal things or is it, like the starving man in the house sort of things? Is really what I'm concerned about.
Meats, various things. You didn't get a good look.
I would suggest to Greg to go get some soldiers and.
One of the people from the crowd runs forward and lifts up a bag to him, which he between two fingers picks up, kind of shakes it a little bit, puts in his backpack, and then he takes the giant ladle out and fills a pot and then hands it to the person.
I don't have no way of telling if this is poisoned or anything. I will openly declare very loudly that I saw creatures like this one attacking villages, so I would hesitate to accept anything from it, as we do not know if it's poisoned or anything like that. But I will not actively stop people from getting the food, taking it, and I will basically just, as long as the creature isn't acting violent, I will stand by the side and watch for a while.
All right. Make a persuasion check. I'll let you do intimidation if you want to.
I'm not trying to scare the people. I'm just informing them that I would not trust this creature. So I think persuasion fits
definitely
better.
Persuasion. Definitely persuasion.
And that's a total of 4.
Nothing you say stops the lines from forming. These people are hungry.
Yeah, I didn't think it would even if I rolled high, honestly. It was just I want them to know these things are the enemy. And therefore you are eating the food that the enemy gave you.
As he stands there serving food, he's singing a song to himself, very low and sort of intimidating in the volume that sound he produces.
I wish I could understand him just so I know he's over here singing about how these fools are drinking poison. Just so I know he's doing something like that. Because I honestly wouldn't put it past you to have him actively making fun of us.
Trinity will notice an individual trying to sneak up behind his pot and try to climb it to sneak some out instead of paying for anything.
I will not stop that, and I will not get involved if he kills that person, basically.
Alrighty, I'm going to make a stealth check for this guy.
Because once he tried to do that, he is a thief. And I mean, I treat him like I would do any other thief. I'm not a guard, so it's not my responsibility to catch him.
Okay. So, the ogre spots him.
Yeah, I like where my position is.
And he does not realize that the ogre has spotted him. And in a flash of movement, the ogre has drawn his sword and cut the man in half. This elicits a little bit of a panic as people start retreating in fear. Trinity, make me a perception check, but you have proficiency in this, certainly.
I am already proficient. do I add my proficiency twice or just
Yeah, let's just do it twice.
total of 10 because I rolled a 2?
Right. This isn't really that hard to spot. You notice the giant blade in his hand as he swings it and then sheaths it, made of solid steel.
I would be familiar with that
Yeah.
because Alexander. So in my mind, that is
Yeah.
a magic. Oh, also I used to be a dwarf. So yeah, I would be familiar with that and recognize that that is magical weapon.
Oh yeah.
So he is way more dangerous than I thought.
Yeah.
Or not way more, significantly more dangerous. There. Yeah. Like I said, did he put the weapon away and went back to what he was doing?
Yeah, everybody's run away except for the guards now, who seem very on edge.
Yeah, but I mean, the guy was a thief, and
the ogre kind of looks around, sees that nobody's at his pot anymore, shrugs, picks the man up who was thieving from him and throws him in the pot, and then starts stirring and eating from the pot.
I would like to gesture in some way that we would like you to leave, please.
Trinity's eating them.
Yeah, they do that.
Okay, make a persuasion check to see if you can get across the point of he needs to leave.
I mentioned these things are monsters, right?
Yeah, it's almost like they're monsters.
No, that's what I would say to Greg.
Oh, yeah.
What role was that?
Persuasion.
Nat 20.
You seem to get the point across pretty well, and he just kind of shrugs, picks up his pot, empties the contents into his gullet, much of it spilling out, puts the pot back into his backpack, and starts walking away.
I would suggest increasing the guards' awareness. Have people keep better watch outside, because if there's one of those monsters, there might be more of them around. And I've seen them literally destroy towns.
Right, all right, back to the ball. So, who wants to go first?
Not me this time.
Okay, I'm gonna go to picking. Edenfell.
So, Edenfell flies back down to the table. What does she see at the table?
Daisy and Alexander. I don't know that there's as much animosity as before.
Who goes first? Everyone.
Yeah, that's why I was like,
Everybody's like, let's deal with our own shit and not talk to any of the NPCs. Awesome.
Alexander, one question. Are you holding on to denial?
About what?
No, denial, my axe. Are you holding on to it?
Yes, it's in my room.
You left it?
I actually was going.
What the guy knows? I mean, to be fair, it is kind of ugly.
Yeah.
And it's really heavy. Okay, maybe I'm worrying about nothing, but that's why there's a reason I put a big fucking boulder in front of my door, okay? Edenfell, lovely to see you again, finally.
Edenfell just lands, just icy, angry glare. Doesn't really give you a word, just kind of stands and stares at you.
So, are you getting a prayer circle together, or?
I told you to leave him alone for now. And what do? You not only walk up to him once, but twice.
Yeah. Sounds like I don't listen to you.
It's most like you just don't want to heed my advice about fixing your problems.
Yeah, well, I prefer to fix my problems, not to just disappear and hope that he cries once when I've died.
Don't you think it's a little soon to show up right now? It's literally happened this morning.
Yeah?
I wasn't telling you to leave, to not speak to him before you leave. I was telling you to leave him alone for now.
I don't know. It seems like really it's kind of up to him. And he hasn't just said fuck off Daisy, so clearly I can help him work through a little bit more of this.
I have a feeling that you just don't listen.
I'm sorry, I actually didn't hear that one because you speak very softly.
It's like you don't listen, like you tend to do.
That is correct, because every authority figure I've ever listened to has used an excuse to trade use against me. Which is why I don't like listening to people.
I've tried being nice. I've tried being cordial. I tried to hear your arguments. I even told you multiple times when it happened that I understood why you did that. But here you are, just being Daisy.
Yes. Who else can I be?
You want me to make it clear? Fuck off.
Daisy will walk away.
Okay.
Edenfell is just standing there shaking.
After Daisy walks off, if Edenfell looks at Alexander, he's looking at her with just like a really small smile on his face.
She'll kind of look to the side and just sit back down.
So we're gonna swap to Daisy for a second.
My goodness, that's the first time I've gotten her really angry. I hope he fixes her.
Daisy, as you're wandering, you almost run headlong into Remus.
Oh, hey, Remus. I'm surprised I haven't run into any of the assassins yet.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
There's a lot of dignitaries here. I'm surprised there aren't assassins either.
They're all busy killing the important people who aren't here.
Ah, very true.
You know, that or killing any civilians who happen to be speaking any sense down in the streets.
Oh, my poor father.
Your father's not poor. He's eaten enough well.
Anyway, do you want to come join me on the balcony and have a drink or two?
I suppose I ought to.
I need a little bit of help getting up and down the stairs. I've only got one arm. I can either hold my drink or hold on to the rails.
Well, I'm sorry I didn't let you turn into a ghost. You would have had two arms then.
Maybe.
Definitively, maybe. I mean, unless there's a Nikolai sword, that probably can cut your ghost.
Oh, certainly.
That's some fucked up shit. I have to be good to me.
Making his way up to the top balcony.
Daisy probably capable of hoisting you with an arm. I could lift you pretty easily with the one arm.
I'm not too heavy. I've lost a little bit of weight in the last few days.
Hey, asymmetry is the fashion these days,
I suppose so.
and it means you don't have to drink as much.
That's true. After you two get to the relatively private area of the balcony, sort of leans out, takes a drink. That's a damn fine plan you had there. It's a shame it didn't work.
Not a shame it didn't work. Oh man. Well, it is a shame that it didn't work, but it would have been a bigger shame if it had worked.
Shrugs.
But yeah, 24 hours or so.
I've not been able to get up the gaff to kill my old man. He's gotten close to getting me to do so a couple times.
Killing him was non-essential, but it was an option. But if I killed him, nobody would be there to support my claim that he put me in charge. And I'm not just going to do you a favor. He has decades of tactical acumen, which are in fact useful and valuable enough to be worth preserving inherently. Yada, yada, yada. Like, people don't think I'm thinking.
Yeah, true.
And besides, I made him a promise.
Did you now?
Yes, I told him if he wouldn't give me the seat that I deserved, I would take the better seat.
Yeah, it looks like you have.
Yeah, for about 4 days, maybe.
Maybe. Remus just kind of stands there staring down onto the dance floor. Seems a little bit distracted.
So what's your grasp on all this, Remus?
I don't know. I don't think staying in Novigrad is a good option. Even if we were to use it defensively and fight off the oncoming army, I don't know that we can do that and hold off what's underneath our feet.
No, the city is poisonous.
I think I'm leaving here as soon as I can convince someone to come along with me.
Not going to be easy.
Yeah, she's stubborn, so I don't know that I can convince her.
Alright. So, right now, who has the food? In what country?
The elves probably have plenty of it. Riftman's probably got a decent amount.
Then
I
they're
don't
the
know.
ones that hold the power.
Saison has access to the
Because
sea,
everybody
so
else in this room seems to think that this fight is going to be over in one of your lifetimes.
oh, certainly not.
I'm not entirely sure it'll be over in one of my lifetimes.
That's unfortunate.
Yes.
Is it too much to hope that maybe one day we might have children who might not have to fight these wars? Maybe it is too much to hope for. But I'm forever the optimist.
Hope requires treachery. Something has to give in order for something to change. The Oberons have to betray the Drags, or the Orcs need to have a difference in mindset and they need to splinter on one another. Because if they continue as they are, as one unit, there isn't a future. And I know there's a future. I know it above anything else. They may not have been listening to themselves when they told me the stories, but I know there's a future.
I believe you, and I hope you're right. Just the struggle until then. Not going to be easy.
Oh yes, and charging everybody dick first at the enemy is also a terrible idea.
One that a lot of people here seem to be in favor of.
Too many. That was going to be my thing. Still. A lot of speeches to go, and I think I see that dumbass with the panther talking to the Laurels.
Yeah. Anyways, I wish you luck on your future endeavors. He'll pat Daisy on the shoulder and...
Well, maybe I'll be back one day.
Alright. What's Neek been doing?
Well, Neek has approximately 5 minutes to do things before going back up to the upper landing with the Laurel and dealing with him.
Yeah. And I think I skipped him last round go through, so what is he doing in those 5 minutes, and then he can get to the balcony?
Okay, so I've got 5 minutes. 300 seconds. So what I need to do is I need to figure out from the shorthands who has what and who needs favors done. Neek has a means of doing that. He just needs to find the most important shorthand who's here.
You ran into him on your way to go talk to Matic.
I know I did. Lovely. What race is he?
Halfling.
Stout or Lightfoot?
Stout, certainly.
Gotcha. And I'm pretty sure Opal and Amber would have told Meek his name in an important way.
Bombast.
Bombast. All right, I need to talk to Mr. Bombast. I got about 3 minutes.
Yeah, he's over at the bar just ordering drink after drink.
Hello, yes, I have come to apologize.
Yeah, the rude fellow who ran into me.
I am a very rude fellow, unfortunately, and I've been looking to correct that.
Oh, you're here with
so
my second cousin's daughters too, aren't you?
Yeah, I haven't been paying them enough mind, to be honest.
Yeah, they
I
look
need to
mighty
know
lonely
a couple.
over there.
Yeah, well, I don't. I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna be honest with you, Mr. Shorthand. Mr. Laurel up there beats his horses.
Oh, that's.
Now I know what people tend to think when you say that about lords. They're like, "Oh, so what? Lords do horrible things. They're very powerful people. They can't find any justice about that."
Just because
Well, I say
they're lords doesn't mean they should do awful things. Have some nobility, you know?
it means even when he has the means to be nice, he's cruel. I need to know who needs a favor around here. A favor I can facilitate.
Who needs a favor? Huh.
I am a man of some means. I've played the fool, but Neek will give Mr. Shorthand. Um, he'll just sort of let down the veil, turn it from like an 8 to a 2. I'm telling you, Mr. Shorthand, I am willing to exchange a favor for someone because this city needs my help.
Oh, I might be able to facilitate that. There's a lot of shorthands who need some help.
I know your deal in trade in the city is starving.
Yeah.
Who has the food?
Tixa head over to the Laurel. They own most land outside of the city. They've stopped shipments coming in.
Really? Did he do that?
He right now he's the acting lord of the Laurel, so basically it's his
Oh my
responsibility.
goodness. Oh well.
So here's
That
what
makes
I
this.
hear. They've been shipping food off north. Their supply trains are running with them. She didn't hear that from me.
Oh, of course not. I didn't even see you. Good to know.
Now, maybe if some important figureheads of the Laurels went missing, I could maybe arrange for some caravans to go out of the city and bring some much needed food in. For a
Okay.
right price, you know. You understand.
Yeah. Of course. There's one thing the city has, it's wealth.
I am plenty of it.
Of course, I wouldn't be here in the facility that I am if this skirmish down south was something temporal.
No, indeed, whatever's happening down south is definitely a problem. But that's not the immediate problem. The immediate problem is getting food in bellies.
Yep. We need people around to make and harvest the food.
Yeah, this city is a tinderbox. We are seeing sparks everywhere. Food is water on the flame.
The city is people. People are the only thing. They're the yoke of consciousness. Um, divine power flows from them and to them. The buildings, I don't think the buildings have been important for a while. They're very new. The ley lines aren't particularly bent around here. So the city needs to move. And we need to pop the cork on whatever's been rotting this underbelly. and let the greens eat that for their breakfast.
Roll a persuasion check.
That's a natural 21.
All right, lad. Here's the thing. You see what you can do about Matic, and I'll get the ball rolling. You hear me?
Oh, I definitely hear you. How much do you like the people from the East?
I've not really talked to them much. They're too far away to help.
Definitely, but they're not too far away to help me. Okay, thank you. I think about 5 minutes have passed. I need to get up there.
Righto. Edgy fell. And Alexander.
Hello. I think it's about time for me to go up.
All right.
I meant to talk to you about all this sooner, but with all the craziness with Daisy, I never got the chance to tell you what's going on with me. I suppose you just will have to find out with everybody else. But I'll explain in detail later.
Right.
And Edenfell will fly up to the stage.
Woo!
People of Novrod, lords and ladies, knights and warriors, shoots a glare towards Daisy up in kings and hear me. I am Edenfell von Ezra Kressler, speaker of Thal, or Lady of Judgment. But a few months ago, I was only Edenfell. Humble servant of Thal, gravekeeper and orphan with the temples of Prague. I left Prague because I felt a call to help the villages in the south. But I had no idea the horrors I'd witnessed when I got there. I have witnessed villages burned, people slaughtered, not any remorse. Death is a mercy when it comes to these beasts. They only as a resource to feel their endless slaughter of the innocent. They work their captives till they are dead, feast on their corpse, and use whatever's left in their heretical rituals. We are nothing but livestock to them. This war is simply herding sheep into their pens in their eyes. They think us weak, that we can't stand against them. They fear our gods so little that they burn our sacred lands without any fear of righteous judgment. But they are wrong, are they not? We are strong, we are just simply divided by our differences and petty grudges. Spending so much time fighting each other like children while the real enemy is knocking at the door. Thal has made her intentions clear to me. There is no place for mercy in this war for our enemies. We must do what we have power to stop them. I, Edenfell von Ezra Kressler, carry the blood of the King of the Gods, Asta, within my veins. And Thal has shaped the divine spark within me to serve as her aspect of death and bring judgment upon our enemies. And I stand with all of you. But will you stand with me and all your other fellow man? Are we so lost to our selfishness and greed that we have fallen before our enemy has even reached us? I don't think we should march out, as we all seem to think we want to. Nor do I think we should stand here and do nothing. But we should not rush headlong into the fray without a plan. And I will stand with you and offer you all the power that Thal has bestowed upon me. Edenfell will just kind of really take the mood of the crowd for a moment.
Roll a performance check at advantage.
Okay. 23.
Edenfell has definitely been heard.
Cool. I will fly back to the table.
You will notice that when you had gone up there, you had cut off Kelser, who was making his way to deliver a speech.
Eyes just on him as she kind of just flies by. So yeah. Was it good?
You were right.
I wanted to tell you about all that.
What Sir Wilhelm called the Battle of Orn is over. I expect that the Battle of Novrod is about to begin. Upon this battle depends the survival of civilization itself. Upon it depends our own life and the long continuity of our institutions in our foundling kingdom. The whole fury and might of the enemy must very soon be turned upon us. Cederberg knows that he will have to break us in this city or lose the war. If we can stand up to him, all mankind may be free, and the life of the world may move forward into broad, sunlit lands. But if we fail, then the whole world, including the Northern Vale, so far and distant, including all that we have known and cared for, will sink into the abyss of a new dark age, made more sinister and perhaps more protracted by the lights of ages past. Let us therefore brace ourselves to our duties, and so bear ourselves that Novrod will last for 1,000 years more. Men will say, this was our finest hour.
An excellent diversity of opinions.
And I'm gonna speak. All right. Adric takes the stage. Now I might be a lowly blacksmith, but I've heard everything they've had to say. I say to you all here, all I have to offer is blood, toil, tears, and sweat. We have before us an ordeal most grievous, warfare. We have before us many, many months of struggle and suffering, at the least. You may ask, what is our plan? I say it's to wage war. War with all the might that Doran has given us. Gods don't give us strength. They have given us strength when we were born. Wage war against a monstrous tyranny that is never surpassed in the darkness. You ask, what is our aim? I can answer in one word. It's victory. Victory at all costs. Victory in spite of terrors. Victory, however long and hard the road may be. Without victory, there is no survival. That's all I have to say. Is there anything anybody else wishes to do? People are feeling way more talkative now when it comes to speeches.
Have my maps come yet?
Yes, they have.
All right. Where is Lady Von Gut?
She's standing to the side of the stage in a parade rest, watching people come up and do speeches, and then watch as they leave.
All right. I'll approach her with them first.
She continues to have eyes forward. Soldier?
I have something here you might be interested in.
And what might that be?
I'll pull out the maps and I'll show them to her. This is did we ever determine how long it would take them to get to the points I marked?
We'll say yes, but I'm not going to give you specific dates and time.
Okay. But we do have an idea?
Yeah.
All right. These points I have marked here are where the enemy will first strike. Insert the time we determined.
Good. We have time to prepare.
I've had scribes that have been making copies of these, as well as making notes on when they will strike and an idea of their numbers.
Are you aware of the fact, Alexander, that some roving bands have made it this far already?
I hadn't been informed of that, but I'm not surprised. I need to know. Do you have an actual idea on how large the force arrayed against us is?
I do.
All right. And you truly think that we can march against that force and meet them on the battlefield?
I truly think that it may be our only hope.
Don't misinterpret my meaning. We need to fight these. But just meeting them on the battlefield feels like it isn't the right way.
Alexander. She turns towards you, and Alexander feels the immediate urge to, stiffen up and stand at attention. They outnumber us. They out-equip us. They are far more brutal in their tactics than we have ever been. Frankly, our men do not have the stomach for the kind of warfare they are going to wage. The only hope I can see is to shatter the Horde. And how are we going to do that? Well, we hit it hard. And we make sure that they are no longer unified. We create a power vacuum by killing the head of the Horde. As far as I can see it, this is the only way. She turns back towards the stage.
I've been out among them for about a month now, fighting them all the way here. I was there when they first rode into our land.
And is this nihilism going to serve the soldiers any better? You're killing hope with this thought.
That's why I'm not announcing it to everyone. I'm telling you.
I am very well aware of our situation. But we need them to believe that it is more possible than it is. For if we don't cast the dice and cross that river, we have lost.
Again, I'm not trying to say we shouldn't fight. I'm saying meeting them on the battlefield straightforward may not be the best plan.
If we do not go to them and allow them to come to us, we just allow the head of their army to sit back and watch as we crumble. No, we must advance.
Alexander just stands there silently for a little while, and then he nods. If you find a place that needs hit and needs hit hard, I will be there. I've seen what they've done, and I hate them. I hate them with every bit of myself. So if you find a place for me, I will be there. And he turns and walks off.
All right. Before I move on to the next speech, is there anything anybody else wants to do?
Neek needs to do his gambit.
Yes, correct. Okay, so Neek is at the top balcony, and he will see Matic make his way up.
Excellent, Mr. Laurel. Neek has his veil back up. Allow me to forewarn our guest.
Mourn?
Oh, yes, they don't want to receive you unannounced.
What do you mean? Whomst?
Mr. Laurel. I represent an intelligence agency in the East known as the Order of the Red Phoenix. I do not wish to alarm our ambassadors, but I believe the only way that they can apply any kind of foreign aid is through the Laurels and their power.
His eyes sort of widen, and then he immediately tries to cover it up. Yes, understandable.
They are very long-lived and patient folk over there, and I believe they are very like-minded. Flash my symbols, you know? Let me speak to them real quick. Neek, getting at least like 10 feet ahead, go to speak to Jaxarian, and if she's with Aofi, good. If he's not, we're going to Jaxarian.
Okay. Jaxarian is sort of leaning against a wall like he's bored, honestly.
Hey, Jaxarian. I do not believe I've introduced you to Matic Laurel yet, have I?
No,
of course I haven't. Switch to Draconic and equal adopt a more serious face. Jaxarian, I'm going to offer you a quick favor. You and I both know that the East is too far away to really impart anything useful here. So if a diplomatic incident were to occur, you might get a little bit of a chastisement, but you won't really be breaking any eggs.
True.
Now I have a fun diplomatic incident for you to do, and I'm willing to trade you any one piece of knowledge.
Any one piece of knowledge.
Yes, I happen to have a lot of knowledge regarding the future.
Uh-huh.
Now, before you start thinking of your price, I'm gonna tell you my price. I need you to kill Mr. Laurel here. Make him seem like he offended you. I don't know, throw him off his balcony. Let out your true self, chomp him. I don't care. He beats his horses. And I'm evil writ backwards.
Okay.
Excellent. I'll bring him forth. I'm pretending to be some sort of...
A name.
If I have it, I'll give it.
What's the name of the Emperor's daughter?
Ooh. Let me have to dig that one up. Poe, do you remember?
I'm about to send it to Brandon.
I believe it's Maria. Don't try and act against her. It doesn't work. But if you want a seat in the future, get on her good.
All right. He kind of puts an arm around Matic and starts leading him around the balcony, talking with him. He's giving you time to get away from this diplomatic incident.
Oh, of course. I've got a panther who needs some shrimp. The queen's up here, and she's kind of cute. She's a bit, step on me kind of gal for Neek. Remus seems pretty okay. I haven't talked to Gavino yet.
Go ahead and find Alexander if you want.
Yeah, I recognize Alexander. Hey, Alexander, you look like you've been through the ringer today.
Yeah. It's been a day.
How bad's it looking?
That depends on what you mean by that.
Well, I mean, I'm not asking for any numbers, but if you have the numbers, that'd be like a cool thing to tell me.
As in the Army's numbers?
Yeah, like I don't know, like a map or like. I'm just trying to get a feel for what your angle is for all this. Seem like an honest guy.
I have a map that shows where they'll hit us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Can I see one?
Sure.
Oh, goodness. That sure does appear to be a lot of orcs. Oh, man. Oh, man. If only we had some sort of great hero sent by the gods or something. But, that's a little lofty. I think I'd settle if we could get a little more food into the city, but I don't know. Maddox seems to have put everything in a blockade, and I don't see him changing his mind anytime soon.
A blockade?
That's an exaggeration. He's running away, taking all the shit with him, and blocking any attempt to get any food into the city.
I did not know about that.
Well, you know how elves are. They're always a little xenophobic and a little isolationist, which is typically good for them because, it really hurts when you get to know somebody for like a really long time and then they grow old and die and you don't.
I suppose so.
Still, is Edenfeld's sister single?
What about her sister?
I mean, is she, wink wink, nudge nudge, I mean, I can't be the only one who put together that, like she's got divine blood, and I think I know what twins means. So people are going to be barking up that tree, if you know what I mean. I'm not looking for the inside scoop. I'm actually just stalling for time.
Yeah. Maybe you should talk to them.
Yeah, but it's not like easy to talk to girls. It's like talking to boys, except they put up the defensive wall because they're statistically more likely to be victims of various forms of violence. I mean, I've got a big cat, so I mean that might help me.
You're a strange individual.
Yeah.
So, Tsar Boris is taking the stage. He looks like he just got out of a fight. He doesn't look like he's quite as strong as he was before, but he's getting up on stage.
Oh, man.
I have, myself, full confidence that if all do their part, if nothing is neglected, and if the best arrangements are made, as they are being made, we shall prove ourselves once again able to defend our home, to ride out the storm of war, and to outlive the menace of tyranny, if necessary for years, if necessary alone. That is what we are trying to do. That is my resolve and every man under me. That is the will of Kislev. A kingdom of men linked together in their cause and in their need will defend to their death their native soil, aiding each other like good comrades to the utmost of their strength. Even though large tracts of my homeland and many old and famous states have fallen, may fall to the grip of the beast, we shall not flag or fail. We shall go on till the end. We shall fight in Kislev. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength. We shall defend our land, whatever the cost may be. We shall fight in the mountains. We shall fight in the plains. They shall fight in the fields and in the streets. They shall fight in the hills, and we shall never surrender. Even if our land or a large part of it are subjugated and starving, and our enemy will continue to struggle. I cannot fight this alone. Unity, brothers. This is what will save us. All right. Does anybody else want to do speeches or have anything they want to do?
I am good.
I don't know. Daisy's definitely taking the measure of everyone around here. She's definitely getting her speech ready, but she does not want to go before Von Gut. Neek, however, needs an alibi and is not unwilling to make a fool of himself.
Yes, Neek, go make a speech.
Neek is going to hop on the back of his panther, and he is going to ride it to the podium. Hello, hello. Be silent. Patient with me for a second. Not much custom giving big speeches. My name's Neek. I bear no name or title, but I have seen and taken a good measure of this fair land and its peoples. From Telemaropa all the way down to Prague itself, I see a like-minded set of individuals. Bear within them the same heart, the same soul of humanity, of dwarvenness, of elvenness that we have all found in our common grounds. Let me not be the first to sneer in cynicism towards those who endeavor for great things, for terrible and lofty goals. But I think, in a manner of speaking, we have truly lost sight of what Novrod means, of what the kingdoms mean. As far as I'm aware, your king just got here and hasn't had the opportunity to do much, which is odd for a kingdom as far as kingdoms go. But, you know, I've sort of noticed that we're making grand speeches, trying to win over hearts and minds when we all want the same thing. And yet, if you could for a moment tune your ears past the music and turn your ears past the storm, really put your ground to your ear and listen, you would hear the whimpers and the shouts and screams of Novrod itself, of her people, which you have devoured the wealth of and left crippled and bleeding on the floor. They have eaten themselves, possibly literally. I've heard of that shit happening, guys. And we're all here, whining and talking about promises that grand strategies will happen, and we're all forgetting that the food that's on your plates, the plates themselves, the clay, was dug up by these people that you're abandoning and killing. And when the orcs come through, and when they kill all your men and they take all your women, they're going to tell stories about how their way is better. And unless your way changes, they're going to be right. This is a city held in the grip of demons whose greatest hope is like some terrifying raven death goddess. I mean, play to your strengths, guys. And there'll be a future with you in it. It might be your children or your grandchildren, but if everybody wants the pie, you're just going to break your plate. Somebody's going to have to give. That's about all I have to say.
What's an orc?
Yeah, orcs with the green guys colored there, but only certain subsets of them. It's super complicated. I don't have the whole deal on hand.
Oh, okay.
Also, this is a very strong panther. Looking to see whether or not Jax Arion has killed that motherfucker he had. Or if he's playing with him like a cat with his food.
He's probably playing with his food out of sight, not letting people really see what's going on until the timing's really right.
Jax Arion's waiting to make it the most embarrassing.
Yeah. It's either that or he just wants to play with his food and not be interrupted. All right. If no one else has anything to say, I think we'll go to the final person who has anything to say and have the Von Gut make a speech. She forgoes standing at the podium. She instead stands at attention in front of it. Can we forge against these enemies a grand alliance that can assure a more fruitful life for all mankind? Will you join in that historic effort? In the long history of the land, only a few generations have been granted the role of defending life in its hour of maximum danger. In the first Mages' War of our fathers' fathers, a decision had to be made: stay and fight, or flee and hope. I do not shrink from this responsibility. I welcome it. I do not believe that any of us would exchange places with any other people or any other generation. The energy, faith, devotion which we bring to this endeavor will light our country and all who serve it. And the glow from that fire can truly light the world. Gentlemen, I will not lie. The chances of your survival are small. Some may even turn against you as deserting cowards. But you have my word that I will use my favor with the Son of Victory, and your souls will be delivered to the halls of heroes on this day. That is the greatest reward, more precious than gold, for the fate of one's soul is an eternal concern. Now, come, follow me to this field. Hard against the foe, bring glory to your names. And when we meet them with sword drawn and fire in your eyes, tell them this: welcome to Novrod. Welcome to hell. I ask this not for my own selfish goals, but for the good of Novrod, the good of mankind, for the 9 kingdoms, Sol Invictus! Yay!
Does she have to make a performance check?
Oh, fuck. I'm not even kidding. Nat 20.
Oh, God. Amazing.
Haha, the lucky die strikes again.
Amazing speech.
Oh, okay. I guess the doors are being thrown open as Daisy enters on Buttercup.
As my hunter marshal has said, times will be dire. I have not come here to persuade you to go or to stay, but rather to make. Oh, my push to talk doesn't want to work. To make in simple accounts of how we have been treated and how we have treated you. Many of you now here stand, crowned by the great King McClintock. The house Gavino in shorthand he built upright, forged in his furnace. Thence treachery abound. The house of the Dregs was slain. The Oberons remembered their morals and betrayed their loyalty. People treat treachery as such a vile thing. You have built your new king. You have granted him a crown of thorns, and you have set it upon his brow as you would drop the blade of a guillotine. And yet, as the dwarves seal themselves away, as the laurels flee to the north, as everyone abandons you, as Novrod stands alone, he is still here. Would any of you claim that you have worked harder for Novrod than King Ivar? If so, show us your scars, and we'll show you ours. There's not a single portion of my body that does not bear a scar, on the front at least. And yet, all of this rings hollow. Useless in the face of the realities of war. Luna, the goddess I once served, I have betrayed. Because I betrayed, because I loved her, because I wished her promises could be true. And perhaps one day, if we hold on to that dream, that promise, if we remember what we are saving, we may have it again in future generations. But in all of this talk of months or years of violence, we have forgotten a simple fact. These orcs, these greenskins, ogres, goblins, all these other names you will come to know well. They worship their own pagan shamanistic rituals. And our weakness, our petty bickering, our obsession with honor and fancy has been our weakness, but it has forged a city that has mastered treachery. And this is coming from a dark-eyed half-drow. I understand treachery. To betray an ideal is to believe it. Our weakness, our infighting, we need to bring it to the enemy. We need to shape them, to tame them, as we have the wolf to the hound. We must forge a great alliance. But if you entertain any ideas that we can fell this beast with the blow of an axe, well, then you have fallen to the centuries of thinking, to the decades that have brought us to this very moment. This is the time of shattered shields and wolves. This is where the age of men comes crashing down. Betray your oaths. Betray every curse you've laid upon your fellow man. Cast them aside. Believe in yourself, for when the tide comes, it may be a Gavino standing next to a Von Guts. It may be your enemy who's pulling you away from the flames. Betray everything that you were, but hold on to what you could be. I have been sentenced for my crimes, of which I shall not be speaking. I have been sentenced to be cast out towards the enemy. I shall ride for them. And whilst I am riding towards them, I wish to bring anyone who is tired of the dishonesty of Novrod, who's looking for the truth of war, who's not afraid to break their oaths and find that the oath was a crutch that hindered their strength. Have I spoken any lies so far? Have I tempted you, any of you, away from your faith or your actions? I know not, and it matters not. If I were to ride my horse alone into the horde, I would come back with an army. Because these beasts, these monsters we face, are very simple. They respect one thing. They respect strength. We will teach them to respect, honor, and all these other things that weaken us. We will teach them to worship and power our gods. We shall turn their faith inward. It would not be enough simply to cut the head off the Hydra. We must crush them physically, spiritually, ideologically. This will be our final victory. For in the future, the orcs will be praying to us and to our images. This will not be swift. Those of you who think of yourselves as sons, you will be fathers. You may be grandfathers before this series of wars that will ensue have truly come to halt. But I entreat you now. War is a battle of inches. If you step on the wrong stone, if you slip just the wrong way, you don't quite make it. So you will have to act quickly. We cannot defeat them by grabbing all of these soldiers. The people in this room cannot defeat a people. It is the people outside of this building, the ones who are starving in the streets. They are the ones who are key. We must preserve them. We must shepherd them. Their production is the only thing that will fuel a sustainable effort. I know not what words to say. I have no one to write my speeches. The writers have all died. You have killed them. They've let the city grow so venomous it could kill a dragon. But when they come for it, you remember. The Laurels, once the bottom-tier family in the Riftmen, some backwoods nobodies, are now the premier elven family in Novrad. Would they give that up? Would the Bandwins so quickly forsake their friendship? I put the Cavanaugh house back into order. Will they stand with me? Will they stand with Novrad? Will they remember that their king gave them their name? Will the shorthands remember that kings gave you your name? Before the McClintocks, we were all just a bunch of peasants wearing hides, swinging clubs at each other, defending our sheep. But now, these neighboring kingdoms, when we call, they answer. When they are afraid, they look to us as a line of defense. Will we cry? Will we flee? Will we go home? Will we run north and tell them that we fought? We fought each other, and we fought all the evil that the orcs could put to us. That may be seen as a noble deed. That may be worth the glory of the gods. Think of what more we could do if we simply put our heads together for once, dropped the pretenses, and figured this shit out. I will be riding out in 3 days. I will take whatever knight remembers Novrad. And when they come for this city, I will not be here. I will already be neck deep in orcs. But when they get to my city, when they take Novrad, I want you to tell them, no, you bastards, you can't have it. We built it. With our hands, with our blood, with our treachery. We took it. You can't have it. But I will tell my enemies what they can have. It's the same thing Novrad has given our enemies, internal and external, since our founding days. A belly full of steel and a pool of their own blood to drown in. Have I told a lie? I think not. If you have any questions for me, you had better start asking. If you're afraid to look dumb, kill yourself now. That will be all.
Woo!
Daisy will sort of ride her horse to the other side of the room and hop off. Is anybody approaching her to ask questions?
Oh, certainly.
Daisy is the strongest woman in the world, and she has a plan for stealing the orcs out from under themselves. She needs to bend their weapon back against them. And Daisy knows the specifics of where to look, where to aim. And she knows her real strength is that she knows in the future there are humans, there are dwarves, there are elves, and there are orcs. And that's going to come through.
I would like to speak with Tanith.
She has moved off and is standing on her own at attention.
Is now a good time to talk about what I have to offer?
Go ahead and speak.
As I said, I don't think it wise to just run headlong into this fray. But I have an alternative that maybe we can achieve both. I have the ability to raise the dead to serve us in fight. They are already fallen, and losing them won't make us lose any more numbers than we already have. I say, I and another I have in mind, raise them to face them in this battle, and we follow them not far behind, setting all sorts of traps and manner of plans we can as we face them, not just with weapons, but with our wit. Because monsters as they are also very clever.
As I have heard.
Does this plan not suit your needs?
Go ahead with it. At the very least, it shall weaken them further.
See, I knew you were sensible.
It's about now that the announcer comes back into the room. He looks pale and scared. He holds up a scroll and reads from it in a trembling voice. Now announcing Kef Dreg. That's where we'll end it for tonight.
Bah!
Truly a great big whopper of a session.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, you guys have been listening to Some Random D&D Game. Catch you next time.